step back and watch the step cook.
You want 17 birds? Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. In my line, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. Yeah, I'm from the 17th curb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, man, y'all know this guy. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you. Y'all know this guy right here. He don't need no introduction. The one and only big homie, Philly 500. How you feeling, 500?
What's up, my man? LB, it is good to be on, man. Enjoying the LB album, man. It sounds good, man. It sounds good.
Listen. I appreciate you, 500. You know, you be so busy. I get so busy sometimes that I forget that I gotta collab with my guys. You know what I mean? And there's so many great Eagles content creators out there nowadays that, you know, we all get lost in, you know, creating this magic that we create. But listen, we're 11-1. You're here. I understand you got an interesting bet going on today. I want to talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the terms of this one, 500.
So Philly 500, you know, I've been here for a while, and as an Eagle fan, we've been double moonwalking through all YouTube. I mean, if you look at the time we've been on, we've been destroying people to the point where I can't get anybody to give me a fair bet. The only way people will bet me is if I have to give extra of myself. But you know Pizzle. You know Cop Pizzle, and you see him always with that giant belt. He's now got a giant belt, right? Because he was so hurt about Michael Anthony, Where's the Fitness, not betting him the other belt. He went out and got his own. But I want that belt. I want that belt because I look at it like his soul. You know, that's his soul right there. But in order for me to get that belt, I have to give up my channel from Monday till Saturday, where he can have full access to my channel. Now it's got to be within reasons and stuff like that. I've set certain parameters in there, but you maybe go to watch a Philly 500 video and you may see Cop Pizzle yelling with a stupid whistle all week. So it's the only way I can get it done, man. Nobody wants to mess with us. Cowboy fans can talk all the crap they want. Everybody can talk all the crap they want, but when it comes to putting it on the table, take your balls out and put it on the table, nobody wants a piece. So I have to go above and beyond.
I don't think you're going to lose the bet. It's just laughable to the extremes that we have to go through to get a fair bet. I've been falling in this same category as well this season. Like, nobody wants to talk to me right now. Nobody wants to be my friend because all I'm going to say is 11-1. That's all I'm going to say to you. It's nothing to talk about. And, you know, we're going up there to see the Giants, and we know division games can be tricky. You know what I mean? Anything can happen in a division game. The only loss we took this year was to a division opponent. You know what I mean? But, you know, you brought something up interesting to me backstage. Like, you haven't had to make one of those classic Philly 500 rants all season. That's how good the Philadelphia Eagles have been performing. So, are you worried about the Giants matchup at all coming up here shortly?
The only thing that I worry about is that it's a division game, and sometimes you never know how a division game is going to go. But in terms of if we played this game 99 out of 100 times, I don't think we lose. You know, so I feel pretty confident. Obviously, I wouldn't have made that bet if I didn't believe in this team. You know, the only thing that really scares me about the Giants is Saquon Barkley. That's really it. I see the Eagles, I see this game kind of similar to Tennessee. You have a team with a good running game that if they're forced to have to throw to keep up with your offense, they can't do it. That's kind of how I see it, you know.
I agree. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I want to blow out. You know what I mean? I don't like the division at all. Everybody's winning, everybody's doing good this year, you know, but you know, the bulk of the hate comes from the NFC East, as it should. We're all division rivals. You know what I mean? Yeah. They, for some reason, in their eyes, we're flukes, but, you know, nationwide, everybody is saying we're the best team in the league, which we are. So I feel like that this is one of these games where you got to squash these guys. You know what I mean? You got to make an example out of a division opponent this year. You know what I mean? And I think the Giants fit the bill beautifully. And I agree with you 100%. Yeah. If you take Saquon Barkley out of the picture and force Daniel Jones to have to do something that he probably can, which is lead this team to victory with his arm, I think we walk out of this thing with a beautiful, nice W. If Saquon Barkley don't play, you heard it here first. A 40 burger will be in the oven for the Philadelphia Eagles. Putting up 40. If Saquon don't play, it's a 40 burger.
Yeah, right. That would be great. I have a question for you real quick, because this has been kind of irking me all week. Do you feel that something happened to the Cowboy fans after that Tennessee game? Like, I feel like they've lost their mind. Like, they're even crazier than they used to be. Like, if you watch the Eagles, when the Eagles beat the Titans, it got quiet. They didn't know what to say. There was nothing. And then they go and they struggle for 3.5 quarters against the Colts. That game gets blown open because the Colts basically quit. And now I feel like they're trying to overcompensate for that win, because I think they're actually scared to death of us. I think they're scared of us.
They're terrified of us, and I can explain to you why. So when you look at the schedule in the beginning of the year, you know, they thought that they were going to beat us week 6. They thought for sure Aaron Rodgers was going to beat us. They can't beat Aaron Rodgers. So all of their hope fell on the Tennessee Titans. You know what I mean? They have a good record. A lot of them are hoping that the Giants could pull off this upset, which is one of the wildest things in the world. So think about it like this. If everybody that you had faith in beating the Philadelphia Eagles can't get the job done, and it all comes down to you on the 24th, now it's a lot of pressure on you. Like, you have to be the ones to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. You know what I mean? That's just true. Like we have to be the ones to do it to you guys, pause. Because look, you beat up on the Colts. You know what I mean? You feel good about yourself. Now, the Vikings win, impressive. The Vikings win was impressive. But in no way, shape, form, or fashion is your win over the Colts more impressive than our win over the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are winning their division. We destroyed the Titans. And we also destroyed you. So they're scared of us, 500. They're scared of us for sure. And, you know, something did happen to them, actually. Not to cut you off. Something did happen to them, actually. What happened to them is that during this time of the season, they're used to being in firm control of the division. They're not, you know, they're in a bad spot if they don't win this division. You got to go on the road and see Tom Brady. Oh, yeah. Y'all not built like you're not built like that. You got to go on the road and see San Fran, probably. Y'all not like that. So, you know, they're not going to win a division. So they're out of here first round.
Yeah. Oh, I expect it. I expect them to be out of here first round, and it's going to be an absolutely beautiful thing. But yeah, I think the Cowboys. I think their fans kind of, to me, they've been acting like really nuts. That Colts game was such a joke. The Colts were down 2 points with 4 minutes left in the third quarter and completely quit. I think the Cowboys are beatable. Matter of fact, they'll probably win today, but I'm not sure they beat Jacksonville. I think that's up in the air.
That's a good point. Do they play Tennessee, or did they already play Tennessee?
Houston today. They play Houston.
Yeah,
they play Tennessee on Thursday night in Tennessee later on in the year.
Yeah. So that's one that you definitely could circle as well, because Tennessee, man, they're not no pushovers. We're just good. Like they Houston, they're going to get that game. Sad to say, but they were supposed to get Aaron Rodgers. You never know what can happen, you know, to the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, Houston might get up for this game because they've been losing a lot of games. But, you know, I'm not counting on Houston to do anybody any favors. And this is the thing. When you're in firm control of your destiny, you don't even need anybody to do any favors. Dallas got to beat us on the 24th if they want to remain relevant, you know, in the race of, you know, I'm not even talking number 1 seed. I'm talking about just winning the division, you know, period. But, you know, the weapons that Daniel Jones has to work with, they're just not adequate enough to even make this a game. If we score 27 points, I think this game is a wrap easily. I think at 21 points, this game could be over.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I agree. You know, I think Washington really showed, like, if you're going to beat the Eagles, Washington kind of show you what you need to do, and that's basically control time of possession. Like, if you look at that Washington game, they had the ball for 20 minutes in the first half. Okay, so you have to keep that offense of the Eagles off the field, and if the Giants can't do that, they're in trouble. They give up like 5.1 yards a carry. I don't see there any way that the Eagles cannot score on this team today. How is Daniel Jones and that defense or that offense going to match Jalen Hurts point for point? I don't see it happening.
Right, and you get Avonte Maddox back. People don't understand that we've been missing key starters and still winning. You get Avonte Maddox back this week. You got Jordan Davis back last week. You're going to get Dallas Goedert back most likely next week. This team ain't even complete with the guys who really have a hand in, you know, getting us to where we ultimately want to be. So, I think we get 4 sacks plus in this game. You know what I mean? I just think that for some reason I feel like the energy's up, and it all has to do with the quarterback. He's not getting too high, not getting too low. He's basically said, and I quote, he's emotionless. He don't feel anything right now. He probably won't feel anything until the playoffs. He is just going out there doing his job and executing at a high level. I haven't talked to you much this season. How pleased are you with the performance so far that you've seen from Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts has checked off every list possible. I am, you know me, before the season, I was like, I was a what if guy. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what he does. I'm totally sold. He's my franchise quarterback. I say extend him as soon as possible. To me, he's proven everything. He's proven he can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arms. But if you more importantly look how the team responds to him and look at his leadership. I mean, I don't, they could talk about Carson Wentz, in his second year, as a starter. But to me, this jump that Jalen Hurts has made is way more impressive. Way more impressive.
I agree because, I've never seen nobody. When Carson Wentz came out of college, everybody knew he could throw the ball. Everybody knew he had a big arm. Everybody knew he was a 6'5" big guy that could see over offensive lines. He could extend plays with his legs. There was so many question marks, with Jalen Hurts up until a couple weeks ago, basically. People are finally just saying, well, all right, yeah, he's good. I don't know how he became this good this fast. But, people just got to accept the facts, man. You know what I mean? And I just want to clarify this. There's nothing wrong with being on the fence with them at the beginning of the season because the play didn't reflect. It wasn't really signs that he would be this good this fast. So I'm not mad at anybody that was on the fence. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some could, and it's also fair to say that I kind of jumped out there with my faith. I'm so lucky I was right. But you know what I mean? We're in a really good position.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a difference between like saying, hey, I'm not sure if he's a guy or not, I want to see, and then being a hater just to hate. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there who no matter what he does is going to have a problem with him. So to me, I thought last year he earned the right to come in and start this year and prove he could be the franchise guy. I think this year he's earned the right to an extension and to be the guy. I'm sold, man. He's my guy. That's it.
Yeah, and we're talking about a guy who'll be in the playoffs for consecutive seasons, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
This will be Dak Prescott's first year, to put that in perspective, going to the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. You know what I mean? And that's not easy to do. And how do you achieve the ultimate goal? You got to get to the playoffs to do it. So if you got a guy consistently getting to the playoffs, he's consistently learning, he's consistently, setting markers for himself. You know what I mean? After a while, just getting to the playoffs, he's not even 25 yet. So after a while, just getting to the playoffs, it's not going to matter. Now it's like I want to win when I get to the playoffs. Right. You know what I mean? And I think he's at that level already.
Yeah, and the one thing with him though is like on a you know how you watch quarterbacks and you watch somebody and on a gut level, like let's say you're in a situation you're down 4 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you need a touchdown. There's some quarterbacks that you don't have confidence, just on an instinctive level. You're like, I don't know if he can do it. I never feel like that with Jalen Hurts. I always feel like he's going to do it. You know what I mean? I have that kind of confidence in him.
No, that's a really, really good point. I thought about this the other day. Like, who is better this year than Jalen Hurts in the final 2 minutes of the half or in the final 2 minutes of the game when you need something to happen? Now, we haven't really needed him to come through in the final 2 minutes of a game. Obviously, we're 11-1, but think about the drive that it took to beat Dallas the first game. You know what I mean? That was like a 7-minute drive. You know what I mean? 16 plays or something like that. Think about the passes that he was completing to mount the comeback against Washington. Now, we know it didn't go our way, but he was on the money. Everything he was doing was that of a guy that was about to come back and win that game, that Colts game. Think about how many times before the half ends where we say, well, damn, we need some points right here. And we end up getting some points right there. I can think about the first game between Washington. We were blowing them out, but we capped off the half with some points with no time on the clock. Even I think against Green Bay, we capped off that half with some points. So Jalen Hurts, it is really hard to stop when the Philadelphia Eagles need points. The way that they're running this RPO is like revolutionizing what a scrambling quarterback can do if he can pick the game up as fast as Jalen Hurts did. I am over the moon excited about, what the future holds with this guy at the quarterback position.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm all in, man. Lock him up. Let's get it done. And don't draft the quarterback in the second round, okay? Because I will lose my mind again. But I don't know what else he can do. It's like, before, when the season started, right, we played Detroit. Everybody, oh, he's a running quarterback. He goes and he plays Minnesota. He beats him with his arm. And then the narrative then again comes up in the Tennessee game. Well, he can't beat you with his arm. He completely beat Tennessee with his arm. He threw all over the place. So I don't know what there's left for him to do except for to play in the playoffs. That's the only thing left.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, he's 25, and we give so many other quarterbacks grace. That's one of the things that I'm struggling with. Dak Prescott is getting a lot of grace, man. Dak Prescott has been around for a while now. You know what I mean? Now it's like, do you get a second extension for being mid? That's how I'm starting to look at Dak Prescott. He gets a lot of grace. You know what I mean? Like, he has to perform in the playoffs to me. And Jalen Hurts is already at that pressure level. Like, I have to do it in the playoffs now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, LB, he's won one playoff game in 7 years. Okay. And if you remember going into that game against Dallas this year, there were a group of Cowboy fans, a big group, that was ready to make Cooper Rush the starting quarterback and trade Dak Prescott.
That's true.
Now, as soon as he loses, then it's Dak Prescott again. If Dak Prescott would be getting killed in Philly, one playoff win in 7 years.
Yeah, he wouldn't make it in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? He would not make it in Philadelphia. And I think the temperament of the city and how the fan base is actually helped progress Jalen Hurts, because some people respond to pressure different, man. Like, if a bunch of people telling me I can't do something, I am obsessed with proving them wrong. I'm obsessed with saying, like, what makes you think that my brain can't grasp how to do this over anybody else? Like, I can do this, and I'm going to show you. And I think he carried a lot of that chip on his shoulder, man. Yeah. Let's talk about AJ Brown for a minute, man. Okay. AJ Brown, man, has completely changed this offense. You know what I mean? From a big play standpoint, just from a guy being that guy. There's been a lot of debate about this. We got a clip going viral from my last roundtable with Louis T and Law Nation and Bad Dog. Louis T says, and I quote 500, that these guys have the best wide receiver trio in the division. Talking about the Commanders. Now, is AJ Brown the best wide receiver in the division from your standpoint?
Yeah, I think he's the best wide receiver in the division, definitely. And then I think if you look at Devontae Smith, he may be your third best wide receiver in the division, because I put McLaurin probably 2, and then I think Devontae's better than CeeDee Lamb without question. So I think the Eagles have. Yeah, I think AJ Brown clearly is the best wide receiver in this. I mean, what other wide receiver in this division makes the impact he does? I mean, you saw what he did with Houston. You've seen what he's done in a lot of games. That was like he's been more like Terrell Owens to me this year. That's what it reminds me of, the 2004 season when we had Terrell Owens come in. He's been dominant.
Yeah, the impact is the big thing that gets him over the hump, because when you look at McLaurin's stats and you look at CeeDee Lamb's stats, they're similar. But AJ Brown is the one with, I think, 9 touchdowns though. McLaurin might have 3 touchdowns.
And think about this. Jalen Hurts has responsibility to keep 2 guys happy in Devontae Smith and AJ. They both have, I think, the same amount of catches. So a guy like CeeDee Lamb, of course, he's going to have more targets. He's the only guy they got. Who else are they going to throw to? So
exactly,
impressive.
Exactly. Then when you look at the list of wide receivers, who you look at the list of teams who have had 2 wide receivers with 100 yards in the same game. You know what I mean? That list is real short. The Eagles did it last week. Yeah. Both guys had over 100 yards receiving in the game. Then you got to look at the Bengals. They have an elite passing quarterback. Then you got to probably look at Miami. You know what I mean? They got studs all in the wide receiver room over there. Yeah. I think it's only those 3 teams that have done this. So that's a testament of good drafting and just Jalen Hurts being on the same page with 2 basically number 1 wide receivers playing opposite of each other. So I think AJ Brown is by far the best wide receiver in his division, because when AJ Brown is on the field, you know what I mean, he might not have the catch volume, but that 1 catch from AJ Brown means so much more than 5 catches in a row from CeeDee Lamb, because a cornerback is going to feel it. You're going to feel it trying to tackle him, and you're going to feel the presence and how the stadium erupts, and just him, just the opposing figure that he is. It's just levels, man, to dominant wide receivers. It's levels to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he opens up everything for everybody else. I mean, you look, you look at what the attention Devontae Smith gets. What about Dallas Goedert? I mean, he's having a hell of a year too. A lot of that comes because AJ Brown opens things up for them. So the significance of that trade at AJ Brown. Like if I'm Tennessee and I was a Tennessee fan, I was thinking about this watching that game last week. I'm like, you were like a number 1 seed, right? A while back. Why would you ever have given up a guy like this when you're that close to possibly competing for a Super Bowl? It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it was a horrible move by their GM, which explains why he was fired after AJ Brown torched him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He was thinking, the wide receiver class is deep. I don't really want to pay AJ Brown. You know what I mean? I really can't think of the mindset behind that one. I really can't. A lot of guys having career years for the Philadelphia Eagles. Our guy Miles Sanders is staring down the barrel of a 1,000-yard rushing season, man. Do you want to keep him? Because you were the one that said he was going to have a big year. I remember you said he was going to have a big year, and it's looking like it's happening.
I do. I've always liked Miles. I want to keep him, because I always felt like he had this in him. I still think you can even do more with him. I would like to see them use him more out of the backfield as a receiver, but I would like to keep him. I don't know, because of the position and paying, what they pay running backs. I don't know if they will, but I also think Miles Sanders is 25. If you look, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear because he backed up Saquon in college. He hasn't had over like a ton of carries in the pros. I think he's got at least another 5 good years of what we've seen this year. So I would love to keep him. I just don't know if it'll happen.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. I think if you're going the pecking order of keeping people, I think Gardner Johnson has catapulted himself to number 1. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think you're definitely keeping Gardner Johnson. I think number 2, you got to look at trying to keep Bradbury, even though Bradbury is definitely going to test the open market. It's going to be big money for a safety a cornerback of his caliber out there.
Yeah.
And I think 3rd would probably be Miles Sanders. I would absolutely love to keep Miles Sanders because this year for Miles Sanders was a huge confidence boost. I mean, not after not having a touchdown at all last year from the blatant misuse. And you bring up a good point, man. Miles Sanders has never had 200 carries in a season. You know what I mean? He's, totally underused, got a lot of, experience now, learn from some good running backs and running back coaches. So I'm on board with keeping Miles Sanders. Yeah. I feel good about the sick. Go ahead.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was totally about to jump topics, but we got.
I'm just going to say that I think you're right about Bradbury too. Like here's what I would do if I'm the Eagles. I'm not Howie Roseman, but I would extend Jalen Hurts this year, but structure the contract where it doesn't really kick into the following year. And then I would try to franchise Bradbury. I would really consider franchising James Bradbury 1 year to keep him because he's that good. He's that good. And him and Darius Slay and Matt, it's just too good to let go. I would consider franchising him if I could. I really would.
You know what? That seems, that sounds like a good move. Honestly, man, to franchise James Bradbury, but he's kind of in a way playing on some type of a franchise sort of thing right now. We signed him for 1 year, $10 million. I think if you bring him back, it'll probably be a franchise tag for $10 million. He probably wants some stability in his life, and I don't blame him, man.
Sure he does. Yeah.
He's been playing exceptionally well, man. My guy Lamont Hubert, man, thank you for the super chat. He said, "LB seems like an eternity since we seen Miles Dancers." Oh yeah. We haven't seen Miles Dancers in a while. He's definitely Miles Sanders. He's booby now. He's turned into booby.
Yeah.
So,
he really has. Yeah.
I think too. Right. That's a big part of it. I think this game could be the game he cracks the 1,000-yard marker. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's under 100 yards away.
I do think he's going to go off today. I think he's going to have a monster game. I think this is a Miles Sanders game all the way. I do.
Well, yeah, seeing a guy that you used to back up, now he's top dog in the running back room and on the New York Giants. You're top dog in the running back room with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is absolutely a game where you want to show Penn State, breeds good running backs on both sides of the field. So people are saying franchise Miles. I don't know, but so Jalen Hurts is going to get extended this year. I would be surprised. Knowing what we know about Howie Roseman, Jalen Hurts will be extended this year. Yeah. But do you see Jalen Hurts taking a deal that's structured and friendly enough to keep some of these core guys around? Because the offense is going to stay together, with the exception of Miles in most cases.
I mean, I think Jalen Hurts is good and should get every cent he can get. He should get the most money possible because he was a second round pick. I say make your money, but I think there's ways to structure it. Like we've seen it extensions before where they give a lot of signing bonus money up front the first year, and it doesn't really kill your cap for another year or two. There's ways to do it, but I don't know if he's going to take less money. Like some people say, well, he'll take a team from. I don't know that he will. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a guy who should get paid as a top 5 quarterback. So I think it's going to cost. I think $50 million. Get ready for $50 million.
Oh, 50 M's. I don't think it's going to cost 50. I mean, I'm hoping he take 45 or something to keep the team intact.
Well, I feel what did Murray made like here's and this is why I say to people that always complain about Jalen Hurts. This is how you know he's the real deal. If you look at when we went into the football season, when we were going into the season, people were comparing him to guys like Kyler Murray. Now they're comparing him to guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. That's all you need to say about Jalen Hurts to know where he is. Kyler Murray, I think, is getting like $46 million a year, something like that.
Yeah, and
he's definitely worth more than him. So I just think it's going to be a lot of money.
It is. You're talking about a guy who could probably win MVP. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who should win MVP? You know what I mean? My guy Gangrene David, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Sup, gentlemen? It's been a while. Finally enjoying football season as a Jets fan. Hey, I'm happy for you, Gangrene. I ain't gonna lie, I'm happy for you, man. Go out there and beat them Bills today, man. I'm happy for you guys over there. Y'all got Sauce Gardner. Y'all definitely, you know what I mean, making some things happen. So, is he the MVP though?
Yes.
Is he the MVP?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's the MVP. I mean, the problem is that, people love to see the statistics, right? And they're going to all look at touchdown passes with Patrick Mahomes. But, I mean, this is a guy that's 11-1. He got almost as many total touchdowns as Mahomes. I think Jalen Hurts, I think he's the MVP right now. I actually think I think after last week with the Chiefs, they lost, right? I think he jumped Mahomes. I think it's a 2-man race between Patrick Mahomes and Hurts, and I think Hurts is the MVP right now. Yeah,
I think in the next 3 weeks, I think he makes it clear. I think he makes it clear in the next 3 weeks. I think it's no more debate if you beat Dallas on Christmas Eve in Dallas. You know what I mean? I think it is what it is at that point. They might as well walk it to him, as Shannon Sharp would say. You know what I mean? It's definitely at this point his to lose. I don't see any defense standing in the way that can even make this remotely tough for him. I just, I'm tired of saying good things about this team. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the playoffs to start so the good things can continue on a higher scale because, this team, I foreseen progression in Jalen Hurts, but the overall team being 11-1, we had difficulties in the offseason seeing where we were even going to lose. People called almost every Eagles content creator delusional because we were saying 15 wins. Now look at us. We could very well win 15 games this season. You know what I mean? You got the Giants, the Giants twice left. You got the Chicago Bears. Like, who's scared of those guys? With this defense getting back healthy and the way that our quarterback is playing, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez, I mean, who's scared of these guys? Man, you're getting Goddard back. This is shaping up to be, one for the books.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a team on the schedule that I'm scared of right now. They're better than every team that they're going to play. It's just a matter of going out and doing it. You keep the turnovers down. I think they're going to win a lot of games. And we're getting healthier. I mean, we got Avonte Maddox back today. Next week, it looks like Dallas Goedert's going to return. A couple weeks, we're going to get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like I'm ready for the playoffs, man. I just want to lock that number 1 seed in home field because I think if the Eagles have home field, I don't think anybody beats them. I think they go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's why that number 1 seed is important. I heard Darius Slay talk about it. He's talking about, listen, we got to get that second bye. We got to get that second bye. I'm all on board for that, man. So you know what I mean? Listen, man, 810 people in the chat, man. If y'all don't know who Philly 500 is, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know where you've been living. I don't know what you on, Neptune, Venus. Make sure you sub up my guy 500 and make sure you tap into his live stream kicking off at 1:00 with Cop Pizzle. Yeah. You know what I mean? As Cop Pizzle, he gonna be looking sad. He gonna be looking. I'm only gonna tune in so I can get some screenshots so I can play back later. because he gonna be looking sad on that stream as 500. You got the eggnog out already, 500?
No, man, I'm holding on from the eggnog. I'm trying to lose a few pounds, you know, trying to not kill myself before Christmas. So I'm holding back till a couple days. You know, I'm trying.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Yeah, man. So we're gonna let my guy. Oh, let me read this. Oh, my guy, D-Lo. What's going on, D-Lo? D'Angelo Xavier. Shout out to you, man. My guy. His album is coming out on the 24th of this month. You know what I mean? As soon as the Eagles take care of business against the Dallas Cowboys, right. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Philly Mike is also in the building. What's going on? He said, "Goats, we need LB wearing a Christmas hat." Listen, I'm not. Listen, don't worry. Don't worry. I mean, my hurt season letters are all about to be Christmassy. Listen, Mike, I'm on it. We about to get in the Christmas spirit for sure. So we're gonna let my guy 500 get to it, man. I know he got to prep for his stream. Right. I'm about to smoke my chicken. You know what I mean? You already know, man. Thank you for tapping in, man. Anytime you need me, you know where I'm at. You already know 500. Let's get this win 12 and 1 coming up. You guys enjoy the game. We will be back for a post game. So shout out to y'all.
Peace.